Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. This is Fishing Blog number 138, and I am finally getting to today one of the many projects I've been mentioning to you guys over the last quite a few videos, and that is consolidating all of these live food cultures. I want to get them into larger containers, and the reason for that is they're easier to maintain. They don't require as much attention. Those two jars that you see to the right there, all I need to do for those is toss in a couple of sprigs of Timothy hay every couple of days, give it a bit of a stir, and then that's it. I don't have to do anything else. The jars are a little bit more labor intensive, so what I need to do for those is, well, take the lids apart, add a few sprigs, do a bit of a water change. They're not as stable. The nice thing about having that many cultures, of course, is I'm in less of a danger of having a crash that will take out, an entire culture or cultures. But I'm noticing that the jars are, well, not necessarily a lot more stable, but they're stable enough. I haven't really had any crashes. Every now and then I do forget to, put new hay in, and it does slow down. It doesn't produce as much in the way of Daphnia, Cyclopsis, and Paramecia and all the stuff I want. But if I add a little bit more hay in, do a partial water change, and it comes right back. So I think it's time, because I do want to set up that desktop tank. I do want to get that going, and the only way to do that is either to move these cultures to somewhere else in the fish room, which I don't really have the room for, or do this. Well, this is the choice I've made. Now, you notice that things are a little bit speedier here. What I've been experimenting on the other channel is, instead of going 4 times speed, I'm only doing 2 times. That way you get to see a little bit more of what's happening. It is sped up, of course, but it is not to the point where you miss details. So it makes the video shorter, which is nice, and you don't have to watch this whole process. But it also leaves enough detail in there that you guys get to get to see what's going on. Let me know in the comments if you like this. The feedback so far on the other channel is perfectly fine. Everyone seems to like it better. Like I said, 4 times is just a bit too choppy. So what I'm doing here is I have an aquarium that I made, when did I make that tank? 20 to 25 years ago, I think. I made about 6 of them. I was intending at that time to get a few different killifish and do some breeding that way. I think I remember going down to the States to an auction, and I picked up some stuff that way. In the end, I decided not to use them. Well, I used them for a little while, and then decided that aquariums are obviously, like larger aquariums are much more feasible for breeding, and as you can see with the Gardneri recently, they've been doing quite well. So what I've done here so far is I've emptied all the jars out into here. I've mixed them all together. I'm trying to get it, as homogeneous the cultures as possible. So I am, like I said, stirring these up, getting them, like I said, making sure that there isn't like all the live stuff's on the bottom or anything like that, and then giving these a stir again, and then mixing them all together, making sure that I have, as homogeneous a spread through all these containers as possible. And as you're going to see here now, it doesn't really change a whole lot of the space this takes up, but it does, like I said, going to take a lot less time to do the maintenance on these. The aquarium itself is the only one that's going to be different. I'm going to have the 3 jars, which are roughly the same. I have that jar you see on the left is the only new addition. It's a bit smaller, and I was using it a while back to store food and stuff, but I have since not used those, and so what I'm going to do now instead is use it for here. If the aquarium doesn't work out, I still have 2 more of those jars, and I might bring them down instead. So there you go, they're all done. I dumped out a fair amount of what was left over the culture. I want to do a bit of a water change while I'm doing this. Get them all set up so I don't really have to do anything more for a fairly lengthy time. So there you go. This is just aquarium water. I always use aquarium water when I am preparing these cultures. Technically, there's a chance of some contamination getting there from the aquariums, but I'm not concerned about it. All these go into those aquariums anyway, so all I'm going to be contaminating with is pretty much whatever survives in the aquariums from these cultures, so not a big deal. There you go. These are all done now. The only thing left to do, of course, is to dry up some of the water I've spilt, and then I need to inoculate them a little bit more, add some more hay into these. And this is all I do. I mean, this is the process from this point on that you're going to see what I do when I need to keep these going. It's much simpler. There's only the 4 of them. I don't have to like unscrew any lids. I don't have to move anything around. I don't have to inspect them as much. I just take these. All I do is take a bunch of Timothy hay, and I have used a pair of scissors to snip them up into smaller pieces, and then just drop a few in. A few in here, and so on and so forth. It's, like I said, it's very, very easy this way. Probably should have done this a little while ago, but I'm always a little leery of having too few of a culture. It does have a greater percentage chance of a crash where I lose everything. But like I said, I've been having a lot of success with these 2 larger jars, and I suspect adding another jar should be exactly the same, and the aquarium shouldn't be much different at all either. So there you go. That is all there is to that. Now what I'm going to do is, for the last part of this, one other thing, I'm going to add some snails. I've added a few snails to the jars a while back just to see how they were, if there's enough oxygen and how they do well in there and everything, and they're perfectly fine. So I'm going to add a few snails in today, and then I'm going to keep an eye on them, see how they're doing. If they're doing quite well, I'm going to use them to keep the jars clean, and again, not much else that I need to do. So this is where I've decided to put this desktop tank. It's going to stay here. It's got lots of light. I machined a couple of large rods to go in here, and this is going to supply the air, and all I'm going to do is hook that up, and then I'm hoping I'm going to actually make another video next week, and that'll be setting this up. I'm going to be putting in obviously the gravel, and then the gravel filter, and of course in the top part, and I want to get this as a desktop. I'm going to get some plants in there and do the whole thing, get it all up and running, and it'll be part of the Sunday vlogs and updates going forward. It shouldn't be much of a difficulty doing this, so let me know in the comments below what you think, if there's any suggestions you want to see going in there, and as always, leave lots of comments. Let me know what you think about everything, and I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.